What if dinosaurs never went extinct? This is probably a question multiple people ask or just some people wonder about. But let me answer this question for you. So first thing, people probably would think, oh, well, if dinosaurs never went extinct, T-Rexes would just be smashing through skyscraper windows and stuff, but no buildings would even be there. In fact, no humans would be there. Because 66 million years ago, the meteor that wiped out the dinosaurs, say it missed Earth, what would happen? Well, humans wouldn't evolve, they would still stay them tiny, small, nocturnal creatures. Because all mammals back then were basically rat-sized. So don't expect elephants, lions, or just massive rhinos, or even whales. None of them would exist, but if they did exist, they would be tiny like us. But let's just get actually into it and what the dinosaurs would look like and act after 66 million years of evolution. Let's start with the Tyrannosaurus. T-Rex was one of the biggest dinosaurs, but in this timeline, they never go extinct. In fact, they'll probably keep getting bigger for a while until there's eventually just a limit. They'll probably branch out and stay that massive apex predator, but you also get the smaller, faster ones that chase down prey in the forest. Maybe lose their tiny arms and just become all head and legs. But that's mostly all of it for the T-Rex. So let's get into the raptors, the dromaeosaurs. These ones are the ones that are really interesting. They were always smart, had pack hunters and always had feathers. Give them 66 million years and they'd basically just be wolves or lions, but even smarter. Some would say small and fast, hunting in packs, but some would become bigger and maybe the top predator in areas where the T-Rex ran around. And some would probably move more into the trees, climbing like monkeys, using their claws for grip instead of just slashing. That's just a bloodline that could basically just lead to something very intelligent. Now let's get on to the hadrosaurs. These were already the most successful herbivores in the late Cretaceous. They were just everywhere, they just ate everything, and they even reproduced fast. But in this timeline, they'd be like maybe the deer or the antelope of the world, just absolutely everywhere in huge herds. But there'd also be some diversity. You'd get that some massive, just some of them to avoid predators, some that just develop crazy head crests, some that become bigger, smaller, some for display, communication for the crests, but some would get smaller and faster and live in forests most likely. They'd probably be the most common thing you see. Let's now talk about ceratopsians, the horned dinosaurs. Triceratops and its relatives would just keep doing what they'd done best, being armoured tanks with horns and just diversify into different kinds of forms. Some would get bigger like all of the rest of the species and just the rest of the dinosaurs really, and basically just be living fortresses, but some would probably get smaller, faster like a modern buffalo. But some would probably just develop very elaborate frills and horns just for mating displays. They'd fill up the same roles that rhinos and even cattle do in our world, but way more varied. Let's now talk about the one and only long-necked sauropods. They were already declining in the Cretaceous, but some of them were still around. If they survived, they'd probably stay big, maybe get smaller, maybe get bigger, depends on where the diversity goes. But that was their whole thing. They might develop armour or even spikes just to keep predators away, but they'd keep having to try better to defend themselves since predators would get smarter and even better at hunting. Some maybe become semi-aquatic to escape predators, like hippos but way bigger. Maybe even develop longer necks just to, reach even higher or shorter. Depends how they evolve. But the necks could evolve to be bulkier or even just skinnier, so it really just has a lot of diverse for what they can look like. Now let's talk about the Ankylosaurus and Nodosaurus, not just them, but their whole species. They were walking tanks, club towels, armor plates, spikes everywhere. With predators getting smarter, they need to even develop more armor, maybe even develop spikes that point backwards so raptors can't jump on them from behind. Maybe get some club towels with spikes on them, but basically like a mace, like a medieval one, brutal. But they would actually be dangerous, not just for defense. They'd just be like the big armadillos of this world, just like the size of a bus if an armadillo was that big. Now let's talk about a single dinosaur, the Pheroxenosaurus. These were the weird ones. Oh, my holy voice crack. These were the weird ones. They had giant feathered dinosaurs, the really long claws from the movie of the Rebirth, not Rebirth, Dominion. They were just like a sloth mixed with a wolverine. They were herbivores, but they just looked terrifying. They looked like a carnivore. But in this timeline, they probably get even weirder. Longer claws for reaching food or defense. Maybe more feathers for display, like coloured maybe. But some would probably become completely arboreal, living in trees like giant sloths. Some might even become omnivores and start even eating meat too. Let's now talk about birds. They survived the extinction anyways, but they're still here. In this timeline, they probably get to take over not like ours, but there wouldn't be no ostriches, no eagles, no penguins. They just evolved from bird lineages that only succeeded because non-bird dinosaurs died. So birds in this world are mostly just small, mostly in the background, filling in the same roles as they did in the Cretaceous, just little flappy things in the trees. They'd never become dominant flying vertebrates because, pterosaurs might be around too, but, that's a whole different thing. Let's finally talk about the really weird stuff. After 66 million years of evolution, we wouldn't produce things we can predict. Maybe some dinosaurs would just basically become fully aquatic like dolphins, but reptilian. Maybe some would become burrowers. Maybe some would become venomous, just, like the Dilophosaurus in the movies. Maybe some even become bioluminescent for display. We just don't exactly know what they would be like, but we just know they would be much different. Maybe even some would evolve to just live in caves and go blind like bats, but the possibilities are endless. It's because how evolution works. It's never going to stay the same exactly. It just keeps going on in any direction it wants. The world would just be loud, full of calls, honks and roars. The air would just smell like plants and animals and just herd of hadrosaurs migrating against the plains. Raptors would stalk through the tree line. Tyrannosaurus would be still ruling their territories. Most dinosaurs would still have their ancestry blood. But maybe somewhere a little Troodon descendant figuring out how to crack a bone open on a rock, not knowing it took the first human to do that. Maybe that's just how it become. A little Troodon can become the new type of human and just take a step towards something big. But that's all for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.